Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Crusadia deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this deck makes some absolutely massive monsters that help you go in and OTK your opponent. This deck is extremely consistent and just absolutely amazing to be able to play because it is so fun to be able to OTK with your boss monster, Crusadia Equalmax. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like your name description every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting your requested deck profile every single month you're a patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Crusadia Maximus, which is a great 3 of in the deck. Now, all of your Crusadia main deck monsters actually share a common effect, that you can special summon this card from your hand into position to your zone a link monster points to, and you can only special summon each Crusadia monster by name once per turn that way, which is really cool because you can just special summon out a bunch of Crusadia monsters to your field and then link climb into some really powerful cards like Crusadia Equalmax. Now this card's unique effect is that you can target a Crusadia link monster that you control, and this turn if it battles an opponent's monster, any battle damage it inflicts to your opponent is doubled. Also, other monsters you control cannot attack, which is not that big of a deal because you're going to be attacking with your Equalmax to be able to do double damage on a monster, which is absolutely insane to be able to just do double damage. We then play 3 copies of Crusadia Leonis. Leonis is a great 3-of as well, and it has a similar effect to your copy of Equalmax, that you can target a Crusadia monster you control, and it can inflict piercing damage this turn, which is a really good effect to do double piercing damage by putting both of these monsters on your side of the field when you have your copy of Equalmax to go in for game. I then play 3 copies of Crusadia Draco. This card is a great combo piece in the deck because it has the ability that if this card is normal or special summoned to a zone a link monster points to, you can target a Crusadia card in your graveyard and add it back to your hand, which is a great effect to be able to recover one of your monsters to be able to climb into another link monster. I then play 3 copies of Crusadia Arborea. Now this adds a little bit of protection into the deck, and she has the ability that if a Crusadia monsters you control would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can manage this card from your field or graveyard instead, which is a really good effect to be able to protect your Crusadia monsters that are on the field. She's also a tuner monster, which is a really good thing for this deck. Then play 2 copies of Crusadia Reclusia. Reclusia is basically like a scrap dragon in the deck that has the ability that if this card is normal or special summoned to a zone a link monster points to, then you can target a Crusadia card that you control and a card your opponent controls and destroy them, which is a pretty good effect to be able to pop a card on your opponent's side of the field to help you go in an OTK. Now I did consider bumping Arborea down to 2 in the deck and bumping Reclusia up to 3, but it's totally up to you guys which ones you play at 2 and 3. I then play 3 copies of Parallel Izzy. Parallel Izzy is a great 3-of in the deck that has the ability, if this card is special by the effect of Parallel Izzy, it becomes a level 4 with 1000 attack and 1000 defense. And if you link summon, you can special summon this card from your hand to a zone that a link monster points to, which will then make it a level 4 with 1000 attack and 1000 defense. And if this card is normal or special summon, then you can special summon an additional Parallel Izzy from the deck, helping you make a rank 4, which is really good in the deck because you're going to be constantly link climbing into some really powerful cards. So this card is really helpful to make a rank 4 in the deck, or even link climb into some other monsters. I then play 3 copies of Water Enchantress. Water Enchantress is really good for the Brave package or the Adventurer package that we're playing in this deck. This card gets you to your right of Arameser extremely quickly, and it's just a really good card overall because we're not really worried about our normal summon in this deck because we're not activating any of the effects of our Crusadia monsters on normal summon. We're actually just normal summoning our first card to be able to then link it away for a copy of Magius and then go in for all of our plays. So the first normal summon in this deck doesn't super matter for an effect, so the Adventurer package works extremely well in the deck. And then playing a single copy of Knight. Knight is a great 1-of in the deck that has the ability during the main phase, if you control no monsters or control an adventure token, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if you control an adventure token, quick effect, you can target 2 cards your opponent controls and give the control of this card to your opponent. And if you do, return that target's to the hand, which is a really good effect to be able to bounce 2 cards back to your opponent's hand, up to 2 cards to your opponent's hand, and give them this 2000 attack point monster, because you actually get to pick the zone, so you can pick the zone to be able to point towards your copy of Equalmax to give it a 2000 attack point boost, which is really good, and give you a safe monster to attack to go in for the OTK. And then play a single copy of Wandering Griffin Rider, because it's a walking negate to help us protect our plays while we're going in for a copy of Equalmax. So this card is a great one of the deck, because you can just special summon it to your side of the field if you control an adventure token, and can just be a really good protection effect. I then play 3 copies of the Thunder King Kaiju, because it's absolutely massive and just really good to be able to tribute an opponent's monster to summon out this card to your side of the field, to then attack into this card with Equalmax to go in for an OTK. I then play 3 copies of Gandarla. Gandarla is really good if you're playing up against, say, for Lawanderies, and they summon out the copy of the Barrier Statue Stormwind, because then you can just tribute over that card, give them this Kaiju, and then make your copy of Equalmax with this card pointing towards the copy of your Equalmax, and then go in for game, which is really good. I then play 3 copies of Ash. Ash is just a really good card in the deck, because you're going to be able to stop the opponent from searching the deck or going in for the OTK. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Crusadia Power. You only really need a single copy of this card. You can play it at 2, but I find that 1 works the best, because it is searchable in the deck off your copy of, I believe, Regulus, because one of them searches the monster, one of them searches the spell and trap. But this card is really good in the deck to be able to search off your copy of Regulus, because it has the ability to target a Crusadia monster you control, and that Crusadia monster is unaffected by card effects this turn except its own, which basically makes your copy of Equalmax completely immune to everything, which is really good. I then play 3 copies of Riot of Arameser. Riot of Arameser is a great 3 of in the deck, because this card just helps us so much to be able to go in for so many different plays by giving us an adventure token on our side of the field. It's a Fairy Earth, level 4, 2000 attack, 2000 defense if you don't already control one, and then you get to activate a copy of Fateful Adventure directly from your deck, which is a really, really good effect. And then play a single copy of Fateful Adventure. Fateful Adventure is a really good card in the deck to be able to just put on the field, so you can constantly get to your copy of your Wandering Griffin Rider and get to your copy of your Draco back. Draco back is a great one of in the deck as well, because it just basically gives you a bounce, which is really, really good. And then finally, for the last 3 cards of the main deck, we're playing 3 copies of Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. This card is basically a dark hole that will give your opponent a kaiju and give you a kaiju, which is really good to be able to board wipe your opponent and guarantee that you're going to OTK the opponent with your copy of Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, because once you resolve this card, if your opponent doesn't have any back row, then you're going to go in for game by giving them the 3300 attack point kaiju or the 27, keeping the 3300 for yourself, and then going in with a copy of Equalmax after you link climb into that monster to OTK. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Crusadia Equalmax. This card is absolutely insane in the deck. It has the ability to take 2+ effect monsters, including a link monster, which we're always going to link away the copy of Regulus to make our copy of Equalmax. And it has the ability that this card gains the attack of all monsters this card points to, which is an insane effect, because you have 2 kaijus pointing to this card with the 2 that we have in the main deck. This card will gain a total of 6,000 attack points, going up to 8,000 attack points if both of the kaijus are pointing to this card, which is really good. It also has a walking negate effect that you can tribute a Crusadia or World Legacy monster this card points to, and then target a face-up card that your opponent controls and negate its effects until the end of the turn. Now the really good effect is you can actually activate that in response to cards effects, which is really good because it is a quick effect, so you can basically negate any card effect that activates on the field, which is a great effect. We then play 2 copies of Crusadia Regulus. This card is really good. It has a similar effect just like your copy of Equalmax, that it gains attack equal to the original attack of the monsters this card points to, and if a monster or an effect monster is special summoned into a zone this card points to, you get to add a Crusadia spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which is always going to be Crusadia Power to be able to protect your copy of Crusadia Equalmax. I then play 3 copies of Crusadia Magius. Magius is a great 3-up because this card has a similar effect just like your copy of Ecomax and Regulex. So this card gains attack equal to the monster that it points to, and it also has the ability if an effect monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, you can add a Crusadia monster from your deck to your hand to then climb into your copy of Regulex and then climb into your copy of Crusadia Equalmax, which is really good to be able to go into those cards. And you always usually want to search your copy of Draco off your copy of Magius, because then it will get the monster that you normal summon back out of the graveyard to then link climb into your copy of your Equalmax, which is really good. So basically, as long as you open up 2 Crusadia monsters in your hand, you're going to have full combo, or just 1 in your hand, and then you can link climb in, well, 2 in your hand to be able to climb into your copy of your Regulex, and then finally Equalmax. I then play a single copy of Neck Knight Crusadia Avermax, which is a really insanely powerful boss monster that you can summon to your side of the field to help you OTK the opponent, and it's just a really good card overall in the deck. I usually make this card if the copy of Equalmax can't OTK the opponent. I usually make Avermax to help me go in for game. I then play a single copy of Access Code to be able to pop cards on the field, which is really nice for this card to be able to do. You don't have to play this card, but it's a really good one-of in the deck. I then play a single copy of Unicorn to spin stuff, 1 copy of IP Masquerena to be able to link summon into the copy of Unicorn during the opponent's turn, or make the copy of Crusadia Avermax to make it so it can't be destroyed by card effects, which is really good. 1 copy of Link Spider as well. This is actually for the Adventure token, because if you find yourself where you only have a copy of, say, Rite of Arameser and a single Crusadia monster in your hand, you can generate the token and then normal summon out your copy of your Crusadia monster, link it to Magius, and then link away the token to be able to make your copy of Link Spider to then activate the effect of Magius to then climb into your copy of Regulex, which is really good, and search a monster from the deck, which means you can still make your copy of Equalmax. I then play a single copy of number 41 to be able to turn the field off, which is really nice. 1 copy of Tornado Dragon to be able to pop spells and traps, which is really awesome in this deck. And then finally a single copy of number 60 because it can double the attack of a monster, let you draw 2 and discard 1, or it has the ability to bring back a monster from the grave, which is really good. The double the attack points of a monster is just really awesome in the deck because you can double the attack points of your Equalmax, which is really cool. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. It's a really fun deck to be able to play with. If you guys have never played with Crusadia, it is just a really fun deck. It's fairly budget to be able to pick up besides the adventure stuff, but the adventure stuff comes in very handy in the deck to be able to make sure that you're going to have your plays protected. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell and there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.